Hello, everyone. I am so happy to see you again. Well, we already had our first snow, and although the snow didn't stick around for long, we have more snow and freezing weather in the forecast. This means I need to get ready for winter. And the first project is to put all of this porch furniture in the old north wing of the house. Also, we need to harvest and preserve the parsley and carrots that are still in the garden. I need to declutter my baking drawer and make something for afternoon tea. So please come hang out with me. I think we will have a productive day.
As you might recall, this is the 4-piece wicker set that I purchased from a local charity last month. Because it is real wicker, it won't hold up to the snowstorms and freezing rain that we typically have here in winter. I will store the set near a window in the north wing of this old house. And since the wicker looks rather nice here, I might actually use it during the winter months.
We can cross the patio furniture off our list. Now we need to go harvest and preserve the parsley in the garden.
This is the parsley that you and I grew together from seed. I've already used bushels of the leaves in various cooking projects. Today, I will harvest and dry as much parsley as I think I can use in winter. I will also take the time to pull up and compost the plants. Before I can preserve the parsley, I need to rinse and dry it. A large, clean bath towel is helpful here. Rolling up the towel is the fastest way to remove excess moisture from the leaves and stems. Now I can mince the parsley leaves and stems in the food processor. The stems are as flavorful as the leaves are. To preserve this parsley for winter, I will dry it on parchment-lined baking trays in a 170-degree Fahrenheit oven. At this temperature, drying time is usually 2 hours.
While we wait on the parsley, We can head back to the garden to harvest what remains of the carrots, and then we need to store the carrots for winter.
These are the remaining bolero carrots that we grew from seed. As you may recall, we made a huge carrot harvest last month. You might also recall that we peeled, chopped, blanched, and froze it all. That was a ton of work. I recently discovered a far easier method for preserving carrots. You simply store them in plastic bags in the refrigerator. To ensure the carrots remain sweet and crisp for 6 full months, it is important to cut off the green tops very close to the carrot root. Also, do not wash or scrub the carrots. Just brush off any loose dirt and then store the carrots in bags. I will keep a small opening in the bags for 1 week to allow air circulation. Then I will seal the bags completely. This method has been tested by many homesteaders, and apparently it works a charm. The carrots remain perfectly wonderful for 6 full months. Of course, I will wash and peel the carrots when I go to use them. I will store the carrots in my small secondary refrigerator.
Well, my parsley has completely dried. It was in the oven for about 2 hours, and you can tell it's dry because it crumbles easily between my fingers. So I'm going to decant this to a jar. Screw on lid. Winter is my big baking season. I have a drawer filled with random baking devices that is in dire need of decluttering. I need to purge and organize that drawer. Frankly, I am embarrassed to show you the drawer. This is a disaster. I'm going to take every single item out of this drawer. Did I say that was a baking drawer? I think it has become a catch-all drawer. So it is time to purge and organize all of the contents from that drawer. And in order to do that, I have to see what I have. It's one bag. Well, this is my veggie chopping machine. I don't even think it belongs in that drawer, but it was the only drawer in which this would fit. So the first thing I'm going to do is pull out all of these plastic spoons, forks, and knives because I don't use them and I do not need them. I can use one of these bags for things that belong somewhere other than that baking drawer. And one bag will be for things I'm going to toss. I think this tart pan is well beyond its prime, so I am actually going to toss this and order a new one because I do bake a lot of tarts, particularly in wintertime. Veggie chopper can go over here. Mandolin can go with the veggie chopper. For the time being, my funnels can go in this bag. And this is the kind of stuff I want in that drawer. So these are baking cups for cupcakes. I also have various food colorings for baking projects. And I want to put all of those together. These are skewers for the grill. The only problem is I no longer own a grill. I have no need for these skewers. Out they go. 4 screws, I have no idea what they were for. I don't have room to store them. More food coloring. Oh, this is a light for my Canon Rebel camera. Totally forgotten that I even had this. Probably because it was stored in my baking drawer. I do need a storage space for all of my camera gear and recording gear, but that will be a video for another day. And I have a million cookie cutters and biscuit cutters. We're going to organize those. This is an attachment for my KitchenAid. Batteries, I have no idea how old they are. Out they go. So I am purging anything that in my heart of hearts, I know that I will never use. For instance, this thing, I have no idea what it is. Let me know if you ever go through your kitchen cabinets and drawers and do a big purge. I find the action life-affirming. I am being very ruthless about my keepers and my tossers. Now here's a pie crust shield, which I bought many years ago. I have made many pies since I bought this item, and I have never once used it. So I think I will gift this to a friend of mine who loves to bake pies. I'm going to put this camera light in my office. So already we have made a lot of headway. Now I have my sill pad here, which I can roll up, but I'm going to roll them up individually and then secure them with a rubber band. one of you sent me these Silpats, and I really do enjoy them, especially when I run out of baking parchment. I picked up some storage containers from Dollar Tree in anticipation of this organization project. And we can put all of the food colors in one container. We can also put the birthday candles in the same container. And put this over here for now, more food coloring. And I'm going to put some random objects in this container, including the baking cups. Well, maybe this will only be for the baking cups. And in this container, I can put my egg piercers. I use these when I make hard-boiled eggs or poached eggs. Well, you've seen me use them. And I have two because one day I couldn't find this because it was lost in the abyss of that drawer. So I ordered another one, and that's why I have two. This is a hard-boiled egg slicer, very useful. Go in here, and I can remove this cupcake core extractor and store it with the cupcake holders. Perfect. Now I can see everything that's in these containers. And then I have 8-inch parchment liners for 8-inch cake pans. Very useful to have. Have to figure out how I'm going to store that. Then I have all of my cookie cutters. Some for Christmas, some for other occasions. This is a star tip for my piping bag. I keep my piping bag in my pantry. So this will go with the piping bag. I have my little miniature tart pans. Well, they will fit in this container. The goal is, well, I want to be able to see everything that's on hand without having to rummage through the whole drawer. Well, let's see how these things fit. And finally, this carving knife and fork can go in my knife drawer, which is right here. It feels great to have that baking drawer all organized. And now I think we deserve a treat. I have a pumpkin cake in the freezer. We're going to make some frosting for it. And then, for a bit of self-care, we can enjoy afternoon tea with pumpkin cake and tea. And here is the pumpkin cake, hard as a rock from the freezer. So this cake is so moist and sweet and unbelievably addicting that right after it cooled, I hid it in the freezer, way in the back. So all we need is some cream cheese frosting for the cake. paddle attachment. Now, I'm not going to frost the entire cake because then I will feel compelled to eat it. So I'm going to make maybe a half recipe of the cream cheese frosting. And I will try to remember to put a link to the video in which we made pumpkin cake in the description below. And to see the full description, you simply click on the title of the video. Now I'm adding some softened butter. I need confectioner's sugar and some vanilla extract. And I will add those other ingredients after I beat the butter and cream cheese together. And while the butter and cream cheese are doing their thing, I'm going to cut a section from this cake. How much cake am I willing to eat? Well, I worked hard today, so maybe this much. I should put this on my board. Then I can rewrap and hide this cake once again to the back of the freezer. Confectioner's sugar. Splash of vanilla extract. Now this cake will thaw very quickly, and it's certainly okay to frost a frozen cake. I'm going to be very generous with this frosting. And I want to add some gold sparkles, just as we did when we made this cake for afternoon tea. This is one of those just exquisite autumn time cakes, although it would be delicious any time of the year. And while we wait for the cake to thaw, I'm going to brew some tea. I think this chai black tea will go very well with the pumpkin cake. I could cut this cake into bars, or I could press it into rounds. Today, I just think I'm going to cut myself a nice big hunk of cake. I've lit a fire. Let's go into the parlor. Well, it has been a long, long day, but I think we accomplished a lot in our winter preparations. I need some tea. And I don't mind enjoying tea and cake all by myself, especially after a long, productive day. And I hope you don't mind treating yourself to afternoon tea, whether you live alone or with someone else. A little tea time treat is just part of my self-care after a very busy day. I hope you treat yourself to afternoon tea too. Now let's have a slice. Let's have a piece of this cake. It has thawed. I've said it before, and I will say it again. This cake is a 10 out of 10. I hope you will give it a try someday. And thank you so much for spending time with me today as we prepared for winter. I forgot to mention earlier that I've already ordered my firewood. It was delivered recently and I stacked it all by myself. And it feels great to have that wicker furniture put into storage and the carrots harvested and stored and the parsley harvested and preserved. Not to mention, it feels great having that baking drawer organized. In the comments below, let me know how your own winter preparations are coming along. And until the next time, please treat yourself very, very well. And I can't wait to see you again. Bye for now, friends. I'm going to finish my cake and tea.